Well, good evening. During this PowerPoint, we're going to look at a host of different technology tools, from websites where you can get lesson plans to actual tools you can download that you could make any classroom come alive with technology. You know, as we look at the future, our life is radically changing almost every year. We see new inventions that make our life easier. Just for example, in the area of glass. Our futures with the use of glass will probably change our comfort levels. And here's just a brief example. Well, just as with glass, and we find there be hundreds of ways that will make our life easier to adjust to and to communicate with others. Well, so too do we find the same technology and expanding to help us as teachers in the classroom. So we want to kind of present just a handful of ones that you could take immediately and use tomorrow. If you look at lesson planning, it's almost the belief now that you will never have to do another lesson plan in your life, because really it's already been done. And out there in the internet world, there are literally hundreds of sites that have free lesson plans that you can download and use, and many will provide the materials, the quizzes, the worksheets, the PowerPoints that you will need to complete that lesson plan or that unit. It's just there for your finding. Many of them are divided into grade levels or by subject areas to make it easier. But any of these that you see down here at the left are a good place to start. There is a search engine even for lesson plan. It's called Lesson Planet. Briefly, how do you search?
The Planet search is a powerful tool that helps you quickly find the exact lesson resource you need. To conduct a basic search, first enter a topic. We'll do main idea in this example, and then hit search. Lesson Planet returns a listing of targeted lesson resource results. Here we can see that there are over 19,000 lesson plans for the term main idea. You can narrow your search by using the refine bar on the left. Simply click a grade and rating, and the results will filter based on your selections. If you selected a grade in your profile, it will default your searches to your indicated grade, allowing you to save time when searching. To further refine your results, there are resource type and subject filters available as well.
Well, lesson plans are out there. It's just yours for the taking. There's another excellent site that many teachers are using. It's called Teachers Pay Teachers, and here you can purchase from other teachers entire units, entire lesson plans with everything available, worksheets, PowerPoints, and the like. And what I've heard from other teachers is they explore this internet site. There's just a wealth of information being added every day, and it's kind of worth a look. If you want some video material, there are also lesson plans and videos out there for almost any subject area. Many times you'll find, for example, PBS having very specific lessons recorded that are available to you by discipline. Again, it's pbs.org. Or you could go to the Discovery Channel for much of the science, Smithsonian for history, and then math. You've got a great National Library of virtual manipulatives that many elementary teachers especially use, all for your taking, all free for discipline-specific indicators or lesson plans. Those of you that are working in your school districts to move to the Common Core, well, those Common Core actually has a website with all the standards listed for you. If you don't have a copy of those, you can download them from the Common Core State Standards Initiative. And then even the state of Kansas has on their website down here all of the different standards for your curriculum area. And if they're not Common Core, which is reading and mathematics, and all the other ones are listed from communication to world languages. So they're there at the state KSDE website. If you're interested in acquiring PowerPoints, again, just like the lesson plan page, host of places you can go. I love the Nebo School District. They had a major grant where a number of those teachers put on all of their different PowerPoints, and some of them are quite good, some of them aren't, but it's a good place to start. But then there are so many other places with SlideShare and PowerPoint sites, but they're excellent to find various PowerPoints, and then you adopt them to your own use. YouTube, TeacherTube, SchoolTube, they all have videos, and with the Teacher and SchoolTube, they have also the PowerPoints that are added, and those are all developed by teachers, so there is some variation in how good some of them are, but excellent sites to use. When it comes to PowerPoints, you can download and then add the material to your class,
need to be shared.
but SlideShare is an excellent place.
Shared long after the class, conference, or seminar is over with internet users all over the world. This tutorial will show you how to find presentations and create presentations.
We're just going to look at how you find them.
Each presentation has a unique URL you can enter into your browser. If you don't know the URL, try searching for the presentation by typing in its name or that of the speaker, event, or institution associated with it. Not finding it? See whether the presenter embedded the presentation on his or her own site. There it is. Use the player controls to play, pause, go back, skip ahead, jump to the beginning or end, navigate to a specific slide, or toggle between regular and full screen.
But SlideShare is a good place to kind of look for your various PowerPoint. If you're kind of tired of developing PowerPoints, you might try Prezi. Prezi is the newest and most visual way to present ideas.
And give it a title and a description.
Here's how you create one.
When your new Prezi opens, you'll see the template selector. In PowerPoint, templates are basically a background image for your slides. But in Prezi, templates are so much more. Visual metaphors for your ideas. For example, maybe starting a business feels like you're climbing a mountain. Or maybe a recent project felt like a long journey. Find the metaphor that works for your idea and select Choose. Once you've chosen a theme, adding content to your Prezi is simple. Just click anywhere on the canvas to add text. To add media like images or YouTube videos, just use the top menu. To move around the canvas, hold down left-click on any blank area of your Prezi to drag up, down, left, and right. Click the plus button to zoom in, or the minus button to zoom out, or just use your mouse scroll wheel. The left navigation bar lets you choose when, where, and what frame you want the camera to zoom to. Using a template, you can easily click on the thumbnails to zoom to the frame which you'd like to customize. Or, click the plus button to add more frames. When you're done, click on Present to start sharing your ideas.
Pretty simple, and perhaps a different, more dynamic way to present your ideas. You can even use, and I'm not going to show you this how to do this, but you can even use your old PowerPoints to incorporate into a Prezi to make it a little bit more spectacular. The EduCreations is an application that allows you to create video lessons on your own. It's usually found on the iPad, but it can be used on the computer, and easy way for you to develop your own video lesson like we see in the Khan Academy. And it uses screencast to record those.
Alright, so this tutorial is going to be about using EduCreations, which is a screencast.
Okay, that sounds really boring.
Creation.
You can go to that if and watch the tutorial if you are interested in making your own teaching videos. But video clips are great to bring alive your classrooms, to start discussions, to set the context for the lessons, but they really do bring in the real world into your classroom. And so it used to be when I taught speech back in the early 70s, when we had, and I used the Martin Luther King speech, an example, I had it on a record rather than actually a video. So now it's so much simpler. Videos just can bring things alive. That is, in a high school classroom, a lot of times once you talk for more than 10 minutes, you're going to start losing your kids unless you break up that monotony. So little funny videos are
I just couldn't stop thinking about
good ways to break that up. Here's one.
So, I went to the fridge and I opened up the meat drawer. You know what the meat drawer is, right?
Yeah. What was in there?
Well, I'll tell you what was in there. You know that bacon that's like maple? It's got maple flavor.
The maple kind, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I took that out and I thought,
Yeah.
I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Nope.
Okay, and that goes on, but those sort of things can bring laughter to your classroom. But YouTube is full of those types of fun. You just have to watch that you get something that's appropriate for your kid. The Khan Academy has become a national phenomenon. Here you have a host of instructional videos that you can use in almost every subject matter. It started with math, but now it's almost in every domain. Just excellently done. They could be used to supplement your lecture. It could be used on your website for kids to view as homework before they come in class, or even after they've listened to you for full development. But the Khan Academy is worth your time to look at.
The Khan Academy is most known for what's now about 1,000 videos on YouTube. It starts literally at 1 + 1 = 2, and it goes all the way up to college level calculus and physics. Everything is in these very short, encapsulated videos, one concept at a time. My cousin Nadia was visiting me from New Orleans when I was in Boston, and she was having trouble with math. She was in 6th grade at the time. I agreed to do this remote tutoring with her, so I started putting up videos on YouTube. And before I knew it, random people all over the world started watching them and sending me letters and testimonials, and I started getting excited about it, and I just kept going.
I think I've learned more about math in the past 3 weeks than I had in all 4 years of my high school studies.
When you watch them, you just...
Okay, you get the kind of the drift of the academy. It was started by Mr. Kahn, and it's developed now over the years with the help of the Gates Foundation into a bank of instructional videos on almost any subject, and so worth your time to look at. There's almost anything you're going to teach, you have an instructional video for. So look it up. There are also discipline-specific types of websites. The Crash Course is a good one because it has almost every discipline again represented, and again, these are usually teacher-developed instructional videos that won't cost you anything, but another source other than the Khan Academy. If you're trying to get those videos off of your YouTube site or another site and they can't be downloaded for some reason or another, you might use the Kajnsta program. You can use the pilot model where you don't have to pay and still get almost everything you wanted downloaded, or you could pay the I think $29 fee to install the entire program. But I found it very useful for you to download videos from YouTube or other sources to use in your own computer, so that if your school doesn't allow you to use YouTube, or you don't want to spend the time as it scrolls along, you can have the video to yourself and use it whenever you want. This is a great program to do that. There are other like Clip Nabber that are easy to use, where you can download YouTube videos and others. Here's a quick tutorial.
Don't worry. So many tools out there can be extremely confusing. That's why in this video, I will show you how to download videos with one of the best download tools online. Open your browser and go to clipnabber.com. On a separate tab or window, head over to YouTube and open the video you wish to download. Now click and select the URL in the address bar. That's the address of the actual video. Right click and copy. And then open the ClipNabber page again. And you'll notice there's a URL box. Right click and paste the URL you just copied. And click Nab. When you click Nab, the website will automatically process the video you selected and provide you with several options to download the video. You'll notice that you'll have some flash videos you can download, MP4s. In this case, I'm going to download MP4, which is the best quality. All you have to do is just click on the MP4 link, and the video will begin to download. Once you download it, you can open it on your computer and enjoy the video at any time. Thank you for your time.
Isn't that cool? All kinds of ways to assess videos and put them on your computer. Also, I love Edmodo. Edmodo is and it's free to educators if you sign up as an educator using your address there from your school. But it is where you can put together pictures from a field trip with your kids, or even an instructional video, and choose a format, and then it will create a video for you, putting those pictures into that format. And I wish I couldn't get that to work, but on Canvas you'll find an example of Edmodo video of when my grandchildren were born, and you could use it for your personal life too. Smilebox is an excellent way to share pictures.
Hi, I'm going to give you a short tutorial using the Web 2.0 tool Smilebox. First, you want to access the internet and type in smilebox.com. When you get to the site, since it's a holiday season, there's quite a few different templates for holiday cards, and all of these cards you're able to import personal pictures and write whatever phrases you want
Also, there are scrapbooks, slideshows, all kinds of types of things you could make for your classroom using Smilebox, and it's quite simple by just adding the pictures after you've selected the format. So I think you get the gist. Music also is a great way to begin your class as kids enter. It kind of sets the tone. If you're teaching the Civil War, you might have some Civil War music playing, or if it's historic, or I know athletes use it all the time to get pumped, especially in a weight room. Businesses use it to get you to spend more money, but teachers could use it as kids enter, also during cooperative learning exercises in a quiet way to set the sound level, or to effectively pad the room so it doesn't get too loud. But music has it soothes the soul in a lot of ways, and putting music with PowerPoints a lot of times to use as an ASET could be great ways to introduce a concept. You could, as this example might be used, if you were going to talk about slavery in the United States, you might play a very quick PowerPoint to music with pictures depicting slavery. This PowerPoint came from the Nebo site, and then I just put music with it, and it might tap the children's interest to begin that unit on slavery. Well, at kindergarten, there are songs out there that are very specific to elementary or middle school types of kids, and Harry Kindergarten is one of those really cool sites that you could find music that is mainly geared to elementary children. Also, you're going to find some videos to music on those websites. There are a host of games that you can play for review, like Jeopardy and various other types of games. What you're provided with is a shell, and then in the PowerPoint, then when it says first question, $100, you just type in your question, answer, first question, $100. You type in your answer, and the game plays itself. And they are quite easy to do, and perhaps very fun for kids to participate in. There are some practice games for the Common Core types of standards that are related to the Common Core standards. ScoopPad.
For elementary grades. With ScoopPad, students practice Common Core standards in math and reading. Using advanced adaptive learning technology, ScoopPad generates continuously personalized practices for each student. Each student will be practicing at their own pace, and ScoopPad will automatically drive more practice in concepts which the student needs improvement. ScoopPad is free and easy to use.
So I'd give it a look. ScoopPads, we found success with many of the elementary teachers, so give it a look. There are general sites for teachers that change monthly, and one of the sites that kind of keeps up with the best and brightest, they list the top 100 sites. It's sites for teachers, and might be a good place to start if you don't want to use this little PowerPoint. There's also Edupdemic. It's got a page with 100 best video sites for teachers you might look at. One of the best ones that I like is the 100 sites of teachers. It's developed by a group of teachers, and they survey a number of school systems, and so you'll find each year the different top 100 sites, and so all of these that I'm showing you are listed there. One of the old ones, but one of the neatest ones that I think is a powerful tool for almost any teacher, especially in geography, is Google Earth. Fantastic way to take kids to the places that you talk about in your literature or in your history. Or if you're going to visit a place, you can actually go visit the place and look at where it is.
San Francisco into the search box. Click 3D buildings from the Layers panel and fly to your particular location to get a photorealistic view of your city. As you pan around, you'll notice some of the buildings appear purple as you mouse over them. Click on them to get detailed descriptions. Move the zoom slider to swoop down to street level to get a closer view. You can even take a look around at buildings by clicking the Look joystick. If you want to pan around from one place to another, just click the Move joystick.
That's almost like taking a
Now,
field trip.
let's go to the Swiss Alps.
Okay, we're not going to do that, but a good place to replace your maps with. If you're looking for any educational research or any articles, the best place to do a search on educational issues is ERIC, eric.ed.gov. Where you can find almost anything ever written about any subject in the field of education or by any author. You type in the term, or you could do a much more detailed search with subterms, and you'll find almost any publication ever written, and it will tell you where to find it. And with many of them, as you see here, you can simply click on that and you get the text right there on your computer. There are other search engines for general knowledge. Wikipedia is sometimes scoffed at, but much of the information hasn't been validated, but it still is a bank of knowledge that you could begin with, and then you could search some of the other ones that are more vetted and give kids a very broad perspective or access to knowledge. One of the very popular computational knowledge engines is Wolf-Alpha, and these are usually free. More advanced applications of it will cost, if you're on an iPad app, will cost you $1.99 or thereabouts. But you can find almost any piece of knowledge that you need. If you want them to compute something that can occur, for example.
Hello, I'm Stephen Wolfram, and I'd like to give you a quick introduction to Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha is really a very ambitious and long-term project, which in many ways is just getting started. But let me show you a little bit of what you can already do with Wolfram Alpha today. The basic idea of Wolfram Alpha is very simple. You type your input, your question, and Wolfram Alpha produces a result. Let's try something really easy. Okay, that's good. Now let's try something harder. How about some serious math? So you can type things in pretty much however you want. Here's what Wolfram Alpha produces. It's done the integral, and then it's showing us other things that it thinks we'll be interested in. How about something more real world? Let's ask it the GDP of France. Here's the result, and then it gives a plot of the history and so on. Well, we can dress up the question a bit if we want. We can say, what is the GDP of France? Question mark. Same result. Let's try this. What is the GDP of France / Italy? So we as humans can tell what this is asking, and so can Wolfram Alpha, and it gives us the result. But this is really making use of the fact that the data in Wolfram Alpha is organized so that it can actually be computed with. Okay, let's try something different. How about internet users in Europe? Now Wolfram Alpha is going to take what it knows and summarize it for us with a table and some graphs and so on. All right, how about some geography? Let's ask about Springfield. Well, there are lots of Springfields in the world, but Wolfram Alpha knows from GeoIP, from the internet address it sees for me, that I happen to be in Massachusetts right now. So it assumes that I mean the Springfield that's in Massachusetts. Of course, I could pick one of the others, too. But here it's giving me all sorts of information about Springfield, Massachusetts, like what cities it's near, and I could always drill down and see more if I'd like. It's also showing me things like the current weather in Springfield, and perhaps I can ask more detail about the weather. So here's the current weather, and this is the temperature as a function
you get the drift.
Of time.
It's a computational knowledge base that you can find out almost anything you need to know. Good use when you're having class discussions a lot of times to find out answers that you may not know. Well, there are also some teaching search engines. 19 Pencils is a super one for different educational quizzes or materials. The Net Trekker is another good one a lot of teachers are using to find all kinds of learning resources for their classrooms. And then general search engines. If you want to find a certain person, you use the white pages. If you want to find different learning playlists. You try Mentor Mob or How to Do Anything, eHow. Or Car2 is also like Wolf on Malfa. It's a mega search engine, or Alta Vista also. But all of these are available to your students or to you to find information that you may be bringing up as a discussion in your classroom. There are generally discipline-specific types of search engines in science, in the fine arts. All of these have their own search engine websites. You just need to kind of bookmark them on your computer and use them as needed in your classroom. Some educational game sites, especially for elementary schools, have become very popular. In fact, many of the elementary schools are putting the educational game sites on their own school's website so kids could go home and use them at their own leisure to play different games in math or reading or geography. And they extend the learning to the home, and it gets parents involved in the kids exploring the knowledge. And most kids are computer-based and love to explore and gain knowledge through using the internet and using games. So check them out. There always is a need for rubrics. Anytime you make an assignment, it's project-based, then rubrics are typically used so kids know what they're going to be graded on. These are easily made. In fact, if you can go to RubyStar and they will have almost for any topic that you've got to make a rubric for. It's already got several made, and you can pick and choose or even develop your own if you didn't like any of those there. But they can be based on Common Core standards or whatever your district standards are. But RubyStar is a very quick and easy way to make rubrics for your classroom. Word clouds have become very prominent on the internet, and this is where you could even do a word cloud for every one of your kids' compositions is when they turn it in, because what it does is counts the words, and then by the word count it sizes it, and then produces it in a rather attractive, as they call it, word cloud, but kind of fun to play with, especially if you're an English teacher and dealing with words, and fun little activity. Avatars are also neat little places that you can you can use. I developed one. Who's that weird guy in the back? But I use old Abe Lincoln to talk about my class and how you learn from Doc Runyon. Used to use a little dog there to navigate through different things. But avatars are kind of cool to put on your web pages so that they can talk to your parents or talk to your kid, and they can use your voice or they can use the dog's voice, so you can choose. And again, creating avatars through Voki is free. ToonDo is a really cool application if you want to create cartoons for whatever reason, to illustrate plots in literature or to teach almost anything. You can develop your own characters, your own plot. You can print them out, and you can use them as graphic organizers. All kinds of little applications for using cartoons in your classroom. A book creator, if you want kids to write their own books, these are free downloads for PC and Mac, and typically they're found on the iPad, but you can also find them for any sort of computer, and it will put your child's composition into book form, and you can add illustrations, you can add pictures, and typically they don't cost anything to produce. So fun way to create books. You could set up your own electronic notebooks if you like. These are ways that you can store information. For example,
the Internet has given us powerful access to knowledge, but how do we share it? Whether you're a teacher sharing websites with your class or a parent trying to help your child succeed, you need a way to group, classify and share the information that you find. In the physical world, you would use a 3-ring binder. So why don't we have online binders? Well, now we do. Live binders are simply a better way to organize and share the information that you gather on the web. Here's the inside of a binder. Websites, Word documents, and videos are easily organized into tabs and subtabs. And a binder is just a URL. You can send it off to anyone. And building a binder is easy. You just place this Live Binder It button in your browser toolbar. As you're browsing on the web and you see something that you want to save and share, you just hit Live Binder It. A little menu will pop up and you can add it to an existing binder or create a new one. And then you can continue to browse or open that binder. Here's the binder with its new tab. And you can put binders anywhere. This binder is up on the school website. Many parents are asking for safe websites for their kids. Every time they open this binder, they see any new sites that were added. You can drag a URL to your desktop, which is great for the computer lab, or you can embed binders in your blog like Mrs. Kellogg did here. That's it. Live Binders is a simple way to share knowledge.
If you want to develop your own website to host your live binders, there's plenty, again, of free sites available. Weebly is one, Wix is another. They're both very teacher-friendly. In fact, we try to have our student teachers develop their own, as you see with this young lady's website here, a website to show the superintendent or have him access it to before the interview occurs to see their portfolio. Teachers having their own website too allows parents to access to find out who they are and what their expectations are. You could even put your discipline policies. In fact, in the class here and that you're taking, it's one of your options to develop your own website. Weebly and Wix, and there are other websites that are free that you can use. Wikis are also a lot like websites. They are plenty. Many businesses use those, but wiki spaces are pretty well web pages, and you can make sure that certain people have access to it and explore those. There are, again, wiki spaces probably your most popular of the wiki hosting websites. The Google Docs is very popular to share with
the
parents
screenplay on your home
or
computer,
to share with your students your
a presentation
materials.
at work, those vacation photos and videos on your phone, the trip itinerary on your tablet, resumes, recipes, videos. With Google Drive, you can now access your files from wherever you are, even the big ones. Whichever program you're using, just drag and drop, and there are all your files ready to be opened by you and shared with anyone you want. Forget files being too big to email. Just share them with Drive, and everyone has the same file automatically that they can edit together from anywhere. Now all your stuff, work or play, is in one place. Easy to find and easy to share. Google Drive. Keep everything, share anything.
Edmodo is perhaps the most popular of the class hosting websites. It is somewhat like you're on now with Canvas, but Edmodo is for public school teachers, and a lot of our public schools around in Southeast Kansas are using these now. can see, Edmodo is a little bit simpler than Canvas, but it has a lot of the same sorts of applications. So if you're interested in developing a Canvas-like learning management system, you might check out Edmodo. Also, Moodle is another one. It's an online learning center. Let me just briefly show you what it's about. Maybe. Here we go.
Moodle is a free online learning management system that enables educators to create their own private website filled with dynamic courses that extend learning anytime, anywhere. You can install Moodle for free on your own server or ask a Moodle partner to help set up a site for you. Once it's running, you can easily create online courses using our hundreds of built-in features. Upload your content, add gradable assignments and quizzes, and then add collaborative activities like forums, wikis, or glossaries to make online learning scalable, effective.
So again, just like the Canvas operating system, but a little bit simpler, Moodle and well as Edmodo are two possible ways of looking at it. So basically, there are a lot of different ways that you can bring your classroom alive. One of the ways, if you don't want to go the full-fledged way, you could start using drop boxes for kids to submit their homework, or for you to drop the things in there that you want to use in your classroom. For example,
you've been there. You're about to buy lunch and realize your wallet is in your other pants. Or maybe you left your keys at home. The problem is organization. You need one place for everything, like a magic pocket. Putting something in the magic pocket means it's always there, no matter what you wear or where you are. The same thing is true for computers. If you have more than one, keeping track of all of your files can be a pain. Solving this problem is one of the big ideas behind Dropbox. It's like a magic pocket, a single, secure place for all of your stuff. Let's meet Josh, who is preparing for a big trip to Africa. Right now, all of his trip info is spread across his laptop, desktop, and phone. He needs to consolidate it all and is tired of having to email files to himself or move them around with a USB drive. Then he found Dropbox, which creates a new kind of folder on his computers. These folders work hard to be exactly alike, even across Macs and PCs. By adding his itinerary to his laptop Dropbox, he can be sure the same file will show up in his desktop Dropbox and even on his phone. The same thing happens when he...
So in essence, you could put all of your classroom material in the Dropbox so it's safe and secure off of your computer. And if it gets stolen or your school burns down, you've still got it all safe. Well, there are some social bookmarking tools that, like Delicious, Drago, that are pretty neat little ways to save and manage and share those things you think are important on the internet. They're not so much like Dropboxes, but there are ways that house what you think is important. For example, nope, we're not going to show that. Digital bulletin boards also allow you to save and to display things that are important in your classroom, such as pictures or ideas. The wall wisher is a cool way to organize and create graphic organizers to show your kids. You can share almost anything on a digital bulletin board or use it to display to your class almost any idea. Poster web page is where your students, if they were given a project to do, let's say on a country or an author, instead of just having them do a poster, you could have them do a technology poster.
Glogster EDU is an online poster webpage. Students can combine text, pictures, graphics, video, and audio to create an online poster. The final glog can be embedded into a wiki, blog, or a class website. Glogster is a great way for students to display knowledge on a topic. It can be used across the curriculum and enable students to demonstrate their creativity. Students can create videos or podcasts to include in their blogs. The possibilities are endless. To begin, visit edu.glogster.com. Click on Register at the top of the page. If you already have a Glogster Education account, log on. Even if you already have a regular...
A little bit more fun than just having kids do a paper and pencil cutout to display there in front of class. Bring this instructional technology tool session to a close. Getting a lot of play in higher ed are our massive open online courses, and they're free university courses that students can take. They're not given grades yet, but there may be 1,000 in there in the class.
Every few seconds, the ticker on the Coursera website moves up.
There are some great classes out there if you're just interested
a week
in
enroll
learning.
in courses like Human-Computer Interaction, Introduction to Astronomy, and Modern Poetry, all offered by top-tier universities.
I've been teaching a class similar to this at Duke for 10 years, and I'm excited about the opportunity to offer it to many more students through this online venue.
Welcome to the brave new world of massive open online courses, known as MOOCs, a tool for democratizing higher education.
So welcome to the Artificial Intelligence class on Udacity.
The MOOC is usually free, creditless, and massive. MOOCs first landed in the spotlight last year when Sebastian Thrun, a Stanford professor, offered a free artificial intelligence course, attracting 160,000 students in 190 nations. Although only a fraction of students who sign up actually complete the courses, millions of students are now enrolled in hundreds of online courses, including those offered by Udacity, Mr. Thrun's spin-off company, edX, a joint venture between Harvard and MIT, and Coursera, a Stanford spin-off that has attracted top universities like Princeton, Columbia, Duke, and University of Pennsylvania.
We're in the business of creating and disseminating knowledge. And in 2012, the internet is an incredibly important place to be present if you're in the knowledge dissemination business.
One of the first MOOCs the university developed is called Healthcare Policy and the Affordable Care Act, taught by Dr. Ezekiel J. Emanuel, a former health advisor to the White House Office of Management and Budget.
There's nothing like watching yourself on video to realize how boring and stilted you can be.
So far, most MOOCs are in tech subjects like computer science and math, with straightforward content that could be graded by a computer. Providing instructor connection and feedback in courses like Dr. Emanuel's is tricky.
The student who's not in the class can't ask me a question directly in real time, and we can't go off on some path that might be very important to understanding certain subtleties or complexities of the course.
It's funny that people get really worked up about the grade. People want to feel like, you know, they're being acknowledged for the amount of effort they're putting in.
So let's talk about access to healthcare in the United States.
Although Coursera's founders want to keep courses like Dr. Emanuel's free of charge, they acknowledge they'll have to monetize to run the company, send money to partner universities, and pay back investors.
Well, you get the idea. There, I think, will expand and will probably morph into something rather interesting as we look down the next 3 or 4 years. So, to conclude, you've got some excellent sites out there for you to use. I've been using in this course the teaching channel to show you a number of supplemental videos, and these are added to monthly with very current topics, and I'll keep adding those to our Canvas course. But if you're interested in self-education, you might check out these 2 channels, because there's just a wealth of videos out there to give you ideas on a number of different teaching strategies and ideas. If you're a special ed teacher, our local Southeast Kansas Interlocal has a website that will have everything you could possibly use to identify and to help modify and accommodate any special education children here at this site right there. So discipline help also for management is one we'll talk about in the classroom management section, but it is a powerful website of 117 different types of kids that you might have in your class, that is Glasser oriented in giving you ideas. It will talk basically after you identify the type of child that you got that you want to find out about. They'll talk about the primary causes of behavior, the needs that are not being met, both primary and secondary, and then it will give you a bunch of ideas to correct that behavior, and then it'll tell you usually the mistakes teachers make in handling that behavior. So powerful website to help you with discipline. So all of these sites are tools that you could use tomorrow. So hopefully you found some of them useful, and I challenge you to add to them, because I'm sure you've got some that are just as powerful. So thanks for watching.